Dubus with the ban on the Dubu. I like it.
Oh, 6 Dubus on screen. I love it. I love it. The Vice ban on the other side, too. Been seeing a lot of that. Dubu Vice.
Also, lovely producer. Quest Esports are the ones in blue this time. Winterfall on the other side so that we can get that switched around and ready to go. Speaking of Switch, SSB in the driver's seat for Quest Esports here. Winterfall, we see the usual suspects of Daftgrass, Mystic, and Luke, 1UKE. The one in their name stand for rank 1, apparently.
Really?
At some point in time. They were the #1 rank in the world at Pro League for a bit. But the Dubu band meme came out because, well, Dubu is what their namesake is. That's who they play as a goalie all the time. Yeah.
It didn't surprise me at all to see the Dubu ban come through because he is literally built different on Dubu.
Yeah.
Literally built different. We got the Estelle, Rasmus, alongside the Kai goalie. Big fan of Kai goalie on Only Village. That's going to be mirrored on both sides of this one. So it is going to be the Juliet is the only difference. Juliet versus the Rasmus is what we're going to have to be watching for.
Difference maker here, too, as we see SwitchSSB. I talked about it before. They are the one to look out for on this roster. The high-flying brawler rocking that arcade skin. I like the new skins that have come out, too, recently with the Finny release. You saw the Boba, Juno, and, of course, Milk Tea, I think it was, won the day. 44% of the vote. Wow.
I was Team Taro. It's just I like
the color.
That's my favorite bubble tea. It's my favorite color. So
I can't drink bubble tea because I'm lactose intolerant. So it's big sad.
Oh, oh, that is so unfortunate.
Yeah.
But you know what? I'd rather not drink it than have to deal with the consequences.
That's very true. That's what I've learned. A lot of people that are lactose intolerant, they're like, nah, I'll deal with it. But you know what? We got to deal with this game that is going on, too. The first goal already gone. SwitchSSB looking solid, but this is the only village special. It can take a while between top teams, but not if you have an energy burst, and HamsterQuest has all the energy necessary to get that one through.
I was watching for that core flip, too. HamsterQuest held on to it for a little bit. Just made sure that you were finding the right opportunity because Daftgrass is sticking on this Estelle for most of these rounds. So it looks like the Rasmus wants to deny the Estelle of majority of chances there, but still the core flip finds its way through. Second goal for Quest Esports, quick as ever to take their lead. Winterfall, if they don't want to go down by 1, they got to start finding something soon because their net's already open.
You know what I just remembered, and I might be mistaken about this. Quest Esports played Winterfall when Winterfall were called not Quest Esports, and not Quest Esports won that. So Winterfall, they're like, you know, even though we were not Quest Esports and won the title of Quest Esports, we're just going to let you have the name, and we'll be Winterfall because it's going to be your downfall if you lose this matchup again. And so far, so good for Quest Esports. I mean, they got the 2 goals, but Mystic pretty solid on the energy burst. Not enough for that. A little bit of a preemptive death touch. And SwitchSSB, just so much space to work with there.
I actually really like the Juliet pick going into this one. Even though, you know, a lot of people may enjoy the death touch from the Rasmus and the whiplash to kind of send it in a little bit farther. I just find that, you know, consistently the pressure that Juliet can put on and the damage is just so good when you have somebody like SwitchSSB who can really push a Juliet to their max. So we get into the first carousel here. Heavy impact for SwitchSSB. Specialized training on the Kai, too, the first pickup there for Quest Esports. Really liking these picks that we do see. Fire Up is kind of blocking what everybody else picked up on my side, but gonna have to see what the rest of the awakenings were.
Hey, there we go.
Here they are.
Okay, Orb Replicator that we saw too.
Hotshot.
Able to be shared, and Hotshot. Interesting awakenings for these teams, but now SwitchSSB, you talked about it, seeing what they can do on this team, staying close to those speed boost zones and getting both goal barriers down so quickly. HamsterQuest also pretty solid for themselves, and SwitchSSB just waiting for that moment to strike, waiting for HamsterQuest to set them up, but they were kind of blocked out by Daftgrass. And great positioning there, but no,
nice
Luke
shot.
had nothing left in the tank to get that. That's happened a couple times here on the Kai.
Yeah, it just hasn't been able to cross that net quick enough. The positioning just hasn't been there for Luke in this Kai. Where on the other side, I feel like Lilybunn has been a brick wall. Nothing has really got past Quest Esports at
True.
all. I think a lot of that comes down to the help that you're seeing from HamsterQuest too. And as soon as SwitchSSB is able to take control of this core in front of the net, there's not much that's taking it out of the hands of this Juliet. So a really well-rounded effort here from Quest Esports.
Great effort, as you were mentioning. And speaking of Quest Esports, HamsterQuest themselves having that energy burst again, but no, Lilybunn, bit of a mistake. Overzealous, extended, couldn't do too much afterwards. The Gale Blast missing from Luke, which would have been huge, trying to get a KO onto HamsterQuest, denying access to that final goal barrier. This is the time for that first goal to come out on the other end, and there it goes. Lilybunn almost hitting it with the barrage, but barely mistimed by mere pixels. Daftgrass credited with that one.
That was literally just pixels because the barrage looked like it hit, but sometimes that's just the way it be. But I really like there from Winterfall, they finally get those nets open, and you see they force the pressure to the top side of the pitch, and alongside Mystic and Daftgrass, once they start getting their cooldowns together and start, I guess cycling through them, it's really hard to keep it away from the Estelle and the Rasmus. It's just kind of, as soon as SwitchSSB is able to take control, that's really when you see this Rasmus struggle to take it away. So excellent core flip was used for Daftgrass to make sure that Switch just can't do much.
That's true, but unfortunately, even after that, Switch able to power up HamsterQuest to get that final goal barrier down. Daftgrass and Mystic pushed up a little bit too much, trying to go for the KO onto SwitchSSB, and it's not working out. Luke still holding on. Not much to worry about stagger-wise, but I have to worry about the pressure that they are facing. Mystic chunked half of their health bar as it's taken away. Stagger goes for the piercing shot and somehow gets that through on a KO off the side.
Daft touch up from Daftgrass. Mystic's going to open up the net. Power play not going to matter at all. Just barely missing the core flip there. Luke tried to time it right. Nice shot there from Lilybunn. Just put it out of reach for the Kai. Another goal for Quest Esports puts them back in the lead after what was a really well-rounded effort from Winterfall to finally put one on the board for themselves. So big bounce back there for Quest Esports, back in towards their tempo. They need some heroics from Winterfall, though, to try to deny this 2-0.
Ooh. Nice Rose Warp, too, but another KO onto SwitchSSB. Makes it a bit easier for Mystic and Daftgrass to get something going. Had to use the energy burst to get that final goal barrier down. Now looking to tie things up and come back, which is necessary in this one. It's only a best of one and no more chances if they go down by these two sets, especially huge for them if they can get that opening awakening draft for whoever was the MVP on their side. And Daftgrass looking pretty strong for that category. Same for Mystic. Even Luke defensively there too. Oh, barrage perfectly timed.
Yeah, this time. Oh, the elusive from Lilybunn actually almost cost it, but still able to recover and save. So good pressure from Winterfall so far, even keeping their net open. Luke into the only village special when there's only one barrier left. This guy doesn't have too much to worry about. Still going to make it through there. Piercing shot from HamsterQuest, but nice from Mystic. The piercing shot the other way avoids the core flip from HamsterQuest and ties it up.
What a strike that was to put it through. Comes down to this, I feel like, for Winterfall. If they can't get this goal here, tie up the sets, that might be all she wrote for them, just based on the momentum. Yeah. But both goal barriers for free, they'll take that every
day of the weekend yesterday, for sure. HamsterQuest up the switch, trying to get this last goal barrier out. And now Luke is absolutely performing on this Kai, but kind of pressured in front of the net. HamsterQuest wide open, dribbles to themselves, goes a little wide. Core flip from Daftgrass, tries to whip them away. Not able to get the shot off though. So back up to the top we go. A little bit of a scrimmage for these strike battles that we see. Daftgrass passes to himself, the dribbling over. Mystic's gonna be down. Daftgrass front, trying to receive the pass. Mystic's not able to get there. Giga blast out of Luke. Core flip from Switch. Shots from both sides. Luke trying to get it out. Switch making it so hard. The pressure from the Juliet. Now Mystic's going to be down. Death Touch not going to receive. Pass back from Hamster. Lilybunn to the Estelle. The KO from Daftgrass, but no shot just yet. Luke up front. Overtime is procced. Mystic's wide open. Down for the shot to themselves. The piercing shot off the volley is going to give Winterfall the set, tie things up. Does seem like we lost Vodible for a second. So while we get him back, welcome to the CMoore podcast, everybody. It's a big round from Winterfall as we were kind of setting the scene for this one because, as Vodible was saying, we're still in the best of one. So going down 2-0, the comeback for Winterfall, having to deal with the momentum that Quest Esports has been finally cut and severed going into the third set. So looking at this carousel, I mean, immediately you're looking at what Winterfall can get to start to continue to keep this momentum in their way. So you get built different on the Rasmus. Stagger Swagger for the Kai is going to be big for Luke because one thing that he struggled with back in the first set was receiving those shots that were just out of position. So Luke can continue to keep that speed up for the Sky. Maybe see if you can deny a little bit more pressure on the net from Winterfall and get involved more. And into the first set we are. The first volley for this one. It's going to be tough to open this one, this net up if you're SwitchSSB. So you do get the KO there from HamsterQuest. It's going to be a power play quickly for Quest Esports, but can they turn it into something for this? Can they open up that net before that respawn comes out? Yes, they can. Switch going to leave this net open. Try to lose out on that KO. Almost finding the shot in the back of the net, too. Cracked is going to be this Juliet, just trying to finesse and stay alive. The orb's going to be picked up from Daftgrass. HamsterQuest with the shot off the core flip, blocked away by Luke. The great defense from Winterfall, but they need to start turning things around and finding some offensive pressure of their own. Barely missing off the core flip to open up that net. Daftgrass almost a chance for Winterfall, but still, they have their work cut out for them right now for Winterfall, just trying to get this set back into their favor. Switch going to push this around, tries to punch it in for the slide, and just nothing finding the back of the net for both teams just yet. Mystic, front, shot, almost. But both teams just standing on their head right now for the defense.
Great defense so far from these players. It's been so good and so intense between these two teams on Only Village that there's a glitch in my system and my internet went down for a sec. But I'm back, and it seems Quest Esports are back in the saddle with that goal.
Welcome back. Welcome back, Vodible. I will say, that was such a prolonged effort there from Quest Esports, even to turn things around and finally find that goal eventually. So big moment there for them to get that one on. Switch is actually going to find the double KO for the net. The 1-2 combo from this Juliet when you least expect it. Second goal for Quest Esports.
Huge goal for them as well to get that one on the board. Now looking to close out the set quickly after such a close and contested set too. And I talked about it. This could have easily been over. If Quest Esports got that last set, they'd be one goal away already. Mystic trying to be a nuisance to Lilybunn because they've noticed that that is who you need to focus on this team, how strong that Kai goalie has been, and still somehow able to keep this away every time and get a goal barrier for it.
Yeah, but Mystic's now going to be cracked. Oof. Oh, goal is going to be KO'd. That's a big trade-off right there for the Estelle doing their job, and Daftgrass going to be sending him over the edge.
Nice.
And that's going to be open now, dribbles to himself, pass knocked away by HamsterQuest. So time's going to be at least drawn out for Lilybunn to get that respawn and a KO the other way.
The focus.
Something that Quest Esports definitely needed to bring themselves back in.
Huge to take Mystic out there because they knew if they didn't, that would have been it for a goal going the other way. But speaking of a goal going the other way, Daftgrass just bullies it through. Lilybunn used everything in their arsenal to try and stop it, and it was not enough.
No, not at all. I think that's where the Rasmus definitely is able to get really dangerous. When that Kai uses all their cooldowns, and you can't do anything to stop that cycle of cooldowns that Erasmus does have to keep pushing it forward. So big moment there for Daftgrass to put the team on the board. Both goals are going to be open too for Quest Esports, so a chance for them to tie it up yet again.
Would be huge to see if they can tie things up here. Lilybunn over to HamsterQuest, SwitchSSB doing all that they can as well, and holding on to that energy burst as much as possible. They got to be careful about potential for a KO. Mystic not really focusing too much on it. Luke somehow stopping one, but a bit too delayed on the energy burst. And Daftgrass didn't matter about the delay because it set him up perfectly.
I'm not really a big fan of the double energy burst there coming out from Quest Esports, Vodible, because yeah, you open up that last goal barrier, but with how forward Daftgrass and Mystic have been playing, how chaotic that core was after the second energy burst just gives them so much favor to mount a counterattack, and there's just not enough, I guess, in the arsenal after that kind of cooldown dump that they had to block it out. So very bold play coming out on their end that just does not pay off.
Unfortunately, it did not pay off there, and we might see a similar situation to the last set where it was stolen away by Winterfall. We're trying to steal all the hopes and dreams away of Quest Esports of making it into that semifinal, potentially against Sad Boys. But there it goes the other direction. There's the set that they were looking for. Now they just need one more.
Rose War from HamsterQuest has been on point. The Estelle for Quest Esports is starting to turn up, but a very simple end to that last set there for Quest Esports. They go up 2-1 now in this best of one, and it's going to be the Juliet aiming for Big Fish right off the start. You see a twin drive there too. Perfect form. There's a lot of good awakenings.
That there is great awakenings available for the carousel here, especially after we saw Orb Replicator taken by some of these players at the start. Ariel's huge as well for Estelle. Callus is going to help a little bit too with those energy bursts that we were talking about that have been so effective throughout this game, and that kind of won the day too. And Lilybunn having that specialized training too with the missile propulsion and the Orb Replicator with the extra cooldowns from orbs is huge.
They can help enable Switch in front of the net. That's going to be a really big pickup for Lilybunn. Unfortunate bounces there off the core is going to open up the net for Quest Esports. Now back downfield, HamsterQuest looking to find some revenge in the goal barrier for themselves. Elusive is going to burn for Switch just to stay alive. Now forces that Kai to burn one of their own. The energy burst is going to be drained down for a couple of these players. A couple of these strikers now looking to just find their form, just find their tempo. And this one, Mystic finds an angle. A nice shot up top to strike first.
That's the first time we have ever seen the side of Winterfall strike first, which is huge for them momentum-wise, but will it be enough for them to tie up the sets and force a set 5 situation between these two? Last time it was more of a one-sided affair with Winterfall just dominating Quest Esports, but Quest Esports seem to be having the upper hand for the most part.
Yeah, a little bit of revenge.
Wow.
Story right now between the two of them. And, I mean, I would expect this to go the distance all the way to a set 5, but right now, I mean, Quest Esports, they can bounce back right now, find that momentum that we've been seeing from them. I mean, Switch has been dangerous when he really gets into his groove, so you gotta watch out for this Juliet being so sneaky at times.
That they do have to worry about that just a little bit. But one goal barrier is holding everything necessary in lock and safekeeping for Quest Esports so that they don't have to worry too much. And SwitchSSB doing everything, but the save was perfect from Winterfall. Luke gets it away. Unfortunately, no follow-up to get that final goal barrier. 3-on-2 situation. Daftgrass doing everything they can to keep this aside. Mystic now the goalie as Estelle. And just great denial of access. And oh, so close on the Rose Warp, but not close enough.
That was some incredible plays from Daftgrass and Mystic too, just to give Luke enough time to respawn. They almost did it. If Mystic hit that Rose Warp, there was a chance for Winterfall really to turn things around, but it's tough when you lose out on the goalie to start to mount a comeback there. They had a chance, but as soon as Luke went down, it just put Mystic in a chance where they needed to recover, and it was not happening. Energy Burst going to be used from Daftgrass just to clear it out. Opens up a goal barrier too, so Lilybunn going to be sanctioned up towards the top side.
Ooh.
Crystal Thorns almost putting another goal in for Quest Esports, but for the net, it's going to be the Fury of Switch to take the goal. Quest Esports are starting to take over.
They aren't starting to take over, CMoore. They've been taking over, especially SwitchSSB, starting things off with 2 goals themselves, 3 before a single one was scored by Winterfall in those opening 2 sets. They've been targeting them a lot, going for KOs on SwitchSSB, and rightly so, but goal barrier already down, and maybe all of the hopes for Winterfall are about to fall behind them, as does their chances to move on to those semifinals like we talked about. Join the likes of Mochi Melody if they do make it there, as they did take down, double down in the bracket. Some more updates to come after this. This might be it too. Somehow save the goal barrier and save the day, but can't do it long enough. Luke has no stagger. Remaining for him, a great touch from HamsterQuest over to SwitchSSB.
Crystal Thorns just denying Switch of control. Nice little whiplash there from Daftgrass is going to now equalize for that moment, but for so long it kept it going. But Winterfall, they tumble. It's a piercing shot from HamsterQuest to deal the last finishing blow.
No. It was a Giga Blast from the goalie to put that through. That was Lilybunn getting the final nail in the coffin with the missile propulsion from downtown, plus the piercing shot that helped the two. There's the assist coming out, but wow. Into the corner and then somehow got that through. That's insane. But, the Dubu band continues to be such a strong force against Luke, and we saw the better Kai out of Lilybunn. 2 goals to the name, the final one that mattered the most, and all that damage that came out from them with the specialized training and missile propulsion helped a ton, and the 3 KOs. But SwitchSSB, star of the show for sure.
100%. Front of the net is such a nuisance. They're 5 KOs. HamsterQuest, even though, not as involved in front of the net, through the midfield, the amount of control that this Estelle had too, just all 3 of these players pairing together and really dominating their portions of that map. So good showing from I would say from Winterfall too. I think there were times where you did see Daftgrass and Mystic really putting on quite the performance, but I think you're right to highlight the Kai battle, because Lilybunn was at times a brick wall that just was not passable for Winterfall at all. So big moment there for Lilybunn to step up in this Kai and really give the edge to Quest Esports to push forward in this best of 1, take down Quest Esports, to take down Winterfall. A little bit of revenge from Quest Esports as we were shaping up, so they take them down. Now is the next big test for them too, because looking at the bracket, Sad Boys just above them versus Los Finos. I would imagine, with the caliber, I would bet on Sad Boys for that game, but if it's an upset from Los Finos, that would be incredible. But Quest Esports moves forward, a chance to now play Sad Boys in that semifinal.
Yeah, and if Sad Boys do go out there, that'd be the first time that they wouldn't make it to a grand final since ever. They've always made grand finals in Primetime Tuesdays. Wow. It'd be unfortunate to miss it, but you could also check it out on Bell's channel. I think usually You Already Lose is streaming as well. YL_OS, I think it's their Twitch channel. But we're going to be taking a little bit of a break. We got to wait for the Glad Boys Powerhouse Defenders matchup to finish up, and then get into the best of 3 territory in those semifinals. Whoever wins that faces off against Mochi Melody. And you probably recognize some of these players on that Mochi Melody roster. It's Liari, it's Wallaby Gangster, it's Yeesh. Also, Hook Resets and Yumi also on the alternate side of things, depending on how they're feeling and what the matchups are looking like there. But we'll be taking that not quick break, a little bit more of a lengthier break. And then after that, we'll be into the top 4 action in just a little bit. You don't want to miss it.